All right, 30 seconds to intro. Intro has started. $30.
Hey, Ron, do we got somebody monitoring video to make sure that it's lined up okay?
Yes, I am.
And then make sure if the score doesn't get updated, let me know, because I'm doing that tonight, and I'll fry it on the first game. I bet I'll forget. So
I got it. 10-4. No worries. All right, going down to 10. Good luck, guys. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome one, welcome all to the historic Tasker Arena on the beautiful campus of Hobbs High School. We got high school basketball tonight. Your defending champion Hobbs Lady Eagles are taking on the Artesia Lady Bulldogs. With me, as always, my right-hand man, Ty Friend. And Ty, we're going to have a great game tonight. We're going to get to see a little bit more of what the Eagles have on the floor.
Yeah, they come out to We Are the Champions, so they're really playing it up pretty big here. And all these neat drills that they're doing, they're kind of new. I can tell Coach Carper's been watching some WNBA and some college coaches and using some of that in his warm-ups, getting the team ready. They have those big rubber bands. I don't know I forget what they call it, plyometrics or something. But they were out there on the middle of the floor doing that before the shoot-around started. So this is a championship team, and they're going to play like that, especially in front of their home crowd.
Absolutely. You know, they're going to bring out all the stops, and they want to really put on a good show for that first game. And, you know, a lot of teams, we talk about it, good teams, they reload. You know, some people have to recharge their batteries and start some teams reload. This team's reloading in a way, but they're doing it with a lot of youth. They have 5 8th graders playing varsity ball.
Yeah, that is the case. And funny you said that reload thing, because last night talking to Coach Carpenter, he goes, a lot of teams like to use the word rebuild, but he says our program, we got a lot of pressure on the fans. Even though we won a championship, they expect it again. And a lot of teams are just like, hey, it happened, and we'll hopefully it happen again. But when you graduate some people, maybe it won't. But he says, I mean, they're not on his backside all the time, but there's a lot of urgency out there. They want to put the banners up on the wall, and like you said, these young kids, and it's been kind of a precedent the last 3 seasons. We're starting to see the 8th graders and 9th graders moving up, especially when you have somebody like Wisdom Anthony, of course, a dominating factor, and now she's fourth on the all-time three-point shooting list. And how many more years has she got? 3 or so? I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
It really speaks to the feeder programs that are coming up. They do a great job of getting kids ready. I was talking to a few of the parents and things, and they really feel like next year's 8th grade class is the same way, and the one after that's talented too. There's a lot of girls coming up, and that Hobbs is going to be stacked for a long time.
And we talk about the youngsters, but what about the oldsters? I mean, you've got Elise Turbiatis. I mean, definitely a dominating player. A coach expects her to have a couple of games of over 20-plus this year, and double-doubles on top of that. But still, very tall post, 6 foot. Anaya Joseph, her book in there, the same size. Are you kidding me? I mean, you got all the riches that you can imagine. And then, like you said, the 8th grader just icing on the cake.
And really, they don't call Hobbs Title Town for nothing.
That's true. I mean, and look at the game on Saturday. I mean, they beat Los Lunas 55-32. 3-time in a row defending champions. They just moved up to the 4A, but or 5A. They're definitely a dominating team. They had 2 all-state players played with them this last game Saturday, guard and a post, and then Hobbs still beating them by 23 points, 12-1 in the first quarter. I mean, that's how dominating it was. And this is a first game. You don't expect even the championship team to have those big-time numbers that quick.
Absolutely, especially when you're moving up so many people. We did have a lot of people to replace, but it seems like we're in good shape. We're in a healthy shape as a program. And when you're in healthy shape as a program, you always have something to plug into the system.
And I think another key to kind of go along with that, too, you got players like Erilyn Hall and Nia Joseph and some of those players. And Coach was talking about this last night as well. He said some of those players were nervous in practice last year when they first started. Didn't know if they're going to do the drills right, getting ready to be yelled at. And it's like now those girls are kind of laughing at the other ones that are moving up. It's like they don't give you a lot of time to adjust. I mean, 8th grade, 9th grade, you're expected to do what he wants you to do, and he doesn't care if you missed a couple junior high years of basketball. It's time to play the big leagues now.
Yeah, and that's what the expectations of a successful coach are. They have their system, they have their plan, and they want you to fit in that plan, and they do everything they can to make you be successful in it, and Coach Carpenter has shown that he certainly can do that.
And I don't think he's one of those taskmasters that's cracking a whip all the time. In fact, offensive-wise, his philosophy is the first 7 seconds is let the girls do what they need to do, get the ball up the court quick, see if you can get a quick basket. We're not worried about a pattern offense right out of the chute. Some coaches want to show, hey, I'm a general out there with the X's and O's. That's not what he wants to see. Get the ball up court. He doesn't have to yell fast break. I mean, you just go do it. Now, one thing that's going to be a hamper to some of that is the face mask. And he said the last game against Los Lunas, there were several times the team couldn't even hear him out there. But I guess some players probably like it that way, right? What about when you were coaching?
There's quite a few players that probably would have liked that when I was a coach.
You were watching March Madness the last few days. I'm sure you saw those masks down all the time on those coaches.
Yeah, mine would not have stayed on, and at some point it probably ended up at a referee's feet by accident. So.
As they stomped on it, right?
Yeah. We're going to take a break right here. We'll come back with more information about the game today. Thank you for joining us on Eagle 100.5 and also on the Noalmark Digital Broadcasting Networks. And we'll be back at Tasker Arena after this 2-minute break.
Clear.
Thank you. 2 minutes.
One minute. All right, coming back in 10. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Tasker Arena. Hobbs Lady Eagles and the Artesia Lady Bulldogs. Lady Bulldogs, a team we've seen before. They're in our region, so we tend to play them quite a bit. And it's a very talented team usually, very physical. Ty, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I know it's kind of a rough year because of the volleyball, kind of an overlap with basketball. You got some players kind of waiting to get ready to play. But last time the Artesia squad pretty much manhandled by the Lady Eagles, 50-37, the final in that one. Anaya Heckert, who graduated, had 15 points and 7 rebounds last year. Wisdom Anthony had 9, 7 rebounds, 7 steals. Elise Turbiatis, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5 steals. And Anaya Joseph with 10 boards. Not the most pretty game out there, but the Lady Eagles out quickly, 13-3. And usually those are the games that if they get out quickly, that's when they're going to dominate. If they're having some problems with turnovers at the beginning or the ball's not going through the hole, that's where the issues start to unravel. But Artesia did outscore them 19-13 in the fourth quarter. But they only have one big scorer back from last year, Artesia. That's Cora Cox with 9 points. So that's definitely going to be an issue. And the Lady Eagles are devastating when it comes to pressure defense. Against Los Lunas last Saturday, 30 turnovers caused by a team that had won 3 championships in a row. So if Artesia lets the Lady Eagles start pressuring them, there could be some trouble if Artesia's not ready to move the ball around a little bit.
And really, I think the inside game may be an X factor in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Hobbs has a big height advantage. You do see a 6-footer, but it's not a 6-footer that's played much for Artesia in Michaela Duran. They do have a couple of 5'10" players starting, but when you have all these Hobbs players that are tall, lanky, got the long wingspan, it's a big advantage on the boards, both the offensive and the defensive end.
And the worst part about it, this is Artesia's first game, so they haven't even had a chance to warm up, and there's been no scrimmages allowed by the NMAA this year, so this is their first action against a state championship team that's a bigger division than you.
Absolutely. And it's a bigger division. You're coming in their home arena, which is also a factor. Your first game, there's a lot of things that are stacked up against Artesia here. But as you know, Artesia is not going to bend over and give the game, that's for sure.
Also, a little bit of Taskerbitch action down there, too, so there's a little bit of music going to be in the background.
Nice. And we need that atmosphere back. We gosh, I don't know how you feel, but this has been such a breath of fresh air, Ty, to be back in sports and back in the game. And I am so thankful that we get to be with you here tonight and watching some basketball.
So you're giddy, it sounds like to me.
I wouldn't say giddy, maybe elated.
You're ready to get down there and coach some more, aren't you?
Yeah, there's always a niche for that. I'll tell you that never goes away. So we're getting close to game time. Both teams getting ready to be introduced, and we'll take one last break before we come back with first half action. Hobbs Lady Eagles and the Artesia Lady Bulldogs. Thank you for listening on 100.5 The Eagle.
Clear. Hey, do us a favor and turn your screen volume down just a little bit.
It's already done. And go ahead and add on another minute, please.
Okay. How much was that altogether?
1:30.
All right. Coming up on 30. All right, coming back in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Tasker Arena, as the Hobbs Lady Eagles and the Lady Bulldogs of Artesia are getting ready to lock horns here. And the Hobbs faithful are out in pretty good numbers here tonight. We have a pretty good crowd here for the first game of the season, and pretty sure that they have at some point will reach their limit and the number of tickets they're allowed to sell with our current COVID restrictions.
Yeah, it's something that you had to deal with this year, but of course there's still going to be a lot of fans packing it in. They want to see some basketball. Like you said, I think they're kind of feeling stale after all these months of kind of being in the house.
I have a feeling they're going to get quite a treat tonight. The Hobbs Lady Eagles coming onto the floor, of course, wearing their home whites with some black trim and black lettering in there. And I think there may be even a little bit of gold in there on the jersey on parts of the lettering. The Artesia Lady Bulldogs wearing their roadie blacks with the orange trim and the orange numerals as well. Both teams getting ready to take the floor for starters, and you have our starting lineup there, Ty.
Yeah, first for Artesia, they've got a junior, the wing player, number 12, Kaylin Greathouse. She did play last year, so she's back in uniform this year. Sophomore point guard, number 21, Coda Beltran. The junior wing, number 22, Cora Cox. She led the team last year with 9 points. Senior wing, number 23, Alyssa Lieb, and the senior post, number 33, Kaylee Wagner. She is the tallest player on the team. Actually, her and Cox both are 5'10", so they're somewhat getting close up to some of the ones that the Lady Eagles will be showing, such as Turbiatis and, of course, Joseph. Starters for Lady Eagles, Erilyn Hall. She was one that played JV last year for some of the season, then moved up towards state. But Coach was saying about her that she got banged up a lot as a JV player, made her more physical and tough. So that's what he's wanting out there. She is a junior guard. She's going to be one of those girls that are going to shoot the trays and help out the scoring opportunities. Of course, not much needs to be said about Wisdom Anthony, number 10, the sophomore point guard. 2 more years as a Hobbs Lady Eagle, already 4th on the all-time three-point shooters list. Great communicator. She'll dish off the ball, steals galore, just likes to eat teams up any way she can. Jemiah Clay, real good player that was in Dallas, came back to Hobbs and now playing for the Lady Eagles as senior guard. Definitely going to be a very important part of the defense, especially according to Coach in terms of this season and how this team's going to progress throughout the season. Number 12 she is. Elise Turbiatis, the only player that has 2 championships as a Lady Eagle throughout the history of the program. Again, 6-foot senior, 24 is her number. And her bookend, Anaya Joseph, number 52, the freshman forward. 3 more years on the team. And another one you like to lick your chops about because 6 foot, 2 6-footers starting, that doesn't happen very often.
And starting so young, Ty. I mean, to have somebody that's going to have that much experience by the time she's a senior, it certainly puts the Hobbs Eagles into a really good place. The future looks very bright here.
Yeah, I can imagine this, being a coach like that, and you're still bringing up youngsters, like you said, 8th graders, and you have seniors that are going to be dominating. And, the size, you got guard play. Now, one thing he did say last night, too, about this team, though, they've got to be aggressive. They can't just expect the big post players to put all the points and tip them in on missed shots. They got to have guards that are playing aggressive on defense and putting some pressure on the perimeter against the teams that set up the O.
Yeah, and with that being said, something else that's a benefit, when you bring so many of them up and you have that many that are playing, your younger groups, the other kids that would normally not be starters, are getting time as starters in your younger groups in 8th grade and JV and so on.
Right.
And so you're now building more depth. And the end result is going to be a huge amount of depth within the girls' program.
And the final thing to say about that, too, is that this team, he thinks is 7 deep right now and wants to extend it to 10 by the time the state tournament is coming up.
Both teams are coming onto the floor for the opening tip. And they're doing possession basketball here as the Artesia Lady Bulldogs will get possession to start the game. There is no jump ball. Bringing in the ball for Artesia, number 33, Kaylee Wagner. Wagner kicks it over to Kaylin Greathouse. Greathouse back over to Wagner on the left wing with the right-handed dribble, being pressured. Hands it over to Greathouse, into the corner. That is Coda Beltran. Beltran ends up getting tied up, and that's going to be a jump ball early as number 52, Anaya Joseph, ends up grabbing it with her and holding the ball in both hands, and that'll be a jump ball to the Eagles.
Yeah, you hate that. It's like a turnover, basically. You don't even get a first shot on your first possession.
Eagles quickly bringing the ball up the court. No score here, 7:42 first quarter action. Penetration right up the middle. Quick pass on the baseline. It's up, and it's good. And the Eagles are on the board as number 24, Elise Turbiatis, receives a nice pass from Wisdom Anthony. Pressure as the Eagles are pressing early. Greathouse tosses it over. In trouble. Eagles look to trap. Still having to go across the timeline now to Beltran. Beltran sets up the offense on the right wing. Top of the baseline is going to be stolen by the Eagles. Quickly in transition. Anthony tries to flip it ahead. It's going to be stolen by the Artesia Lady Dogs. In trouble. Looking for help. Tosses it over to number 12, Greathouse. Greathouse comes across the timeline with the right hand. In the corner, Beltran. She's looking for a pass, top of the key. Comes out to Wagner. Wagner picks up her dribble, tosses back to Greathouse. At the free throw line, tries to go back door with it to number 23, Alyssa Lieb. And around the corner, Beltran tries to shoot. It's going to be swatted away by Anthony. And Anthony's going to get a receptive pass right back. And Anthony up with the left-handed layup, in and out. And that's going to be 2 points there for Anthony. And a quick timeout for Artesia. They want to talk it over. 6:36 on the clock. Hobbs 4, Artesia nothing. You're listening to Lady Eagle Basketball on Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
30.
30 or 1.
30.
All right, coming back in 5, 3, 2, 1.
Well, welcome back, Tasker Arena. 4-0 your score. The Ladies Eagles lead. Artesia will be inbounding the ball next to their own bench, and they have 96 feet to go here.
One thing you like to see early, you get a girl that's not just getting points, but also blocks, steals, etc. I mean, that's what Hobbs loves. Coach Carpenter wants to see his players being multidimensional on the court.
Artesia to inbounds. They got Beltran working the right side. Spins it around to Wagner. Wagner taking her time back to Beltran in the middle, almost stolen away. Wagner crosses the timeline. They go back door. Quick pass is going to be blocked underneath as Saez tries to go up with it. It's taken away. Anthony brings it up the court. Anthony right hands it over. It's going to be stolen by Artesia. Quickly up the court. There's going to be a foul at midcourt, which is going to prevent a layup. That was actually a smart foul there. But Artesia will be the beneficiary of the first foul of the game.
Looks like they're going to charge that to the Lady Eagles there. It looked like he said number 14. I don't think there is a 14 out there. They're going to call him over to the scores table to change it. I think they're going to make that Jemiah Clay picking up her first. Nope, correction. Make that Wisdom Anthony's first.
Yeah, Anthony was trying to get a steal at midcourt, but that was one of the best things she could have done because Artesia had beaten us up the court on that one. Top of the key. It's going to be knocked away quickly. They're going to call a kick ball on Erin Hall. As Hall gets her foot into that one.
And then she tries to go out of bounds to get the inbound. Jemiah Clay actually did to the referee, but he wasn't falling for that little prank.
Here we go, top of the key. Artesia flips it underneath. The ball's loose. Beltran comes away with it off Beltran's hands and out of bounds. And they're going to give it back to Artesia.
Well, those cheerleaders standing stout there, they were going to move an inch. All those players coming crashing towards them. They didn't move.
Kudos to the cheerleaders. One of their own sang the national anthem. Did a great job tonight. Beltran right side as the inbounds comes in with the right hand. Beltran in trouble. It's going to be stolen away, and it'll be a jump ball as there's a scrum for it on the ground as Clay gets down on the floor to tie it up.
Sub checking in for the Lady Eagles, Brett Clay. She's one of the youngsters out there, just the 8th grader, already getting action with 5:12 left in the first quarter. Boy, a lot
so
of
we
guts.
got two Clays. We got Jemiah and Brett on the floor here. Top of the key, Beltran's going to flip it over to the near side to Saez. Top of the key to Greathouse. Greathouse with the right hand, in trouble. She can't find anybody, and they're going to get her for a walk as she shuffles her feet trying to pivot, and that'll be another turnover. Goes Hobbs' way.
Boy, Jemiah Clay all over her. We talked about that in the pregame show. Pressure on the perimeter. That's how you get your offense going the other direction, and Coach Carpenter insists on that from his D. And they're going to get a 1-3-1 zone against the Hobbs Lady Eagle offense now for Artesia.
Hobbs attacking zone. Anthony, she's going to break down the top. She takes it with the right hand, splits the defense, and scores. Wisdom Anthony with 2. Quick inbounds. Artesia throws it to Greathouse. There's going to be a collision, and they're going to get Brett Clay for the foul there.
Yeah, getting a little bit too tenacious on that near sideline. Did you see that nice swooping move that they laid it in there? Anthony just using the glass little finger roll action to score.
And I got a correction here. It looks like they went the other way. They got Greathouse with a push, and it's going to be Hobbs Eagles ball.
You had me fooled on that one, Coach.
Yeah, it had me fooled too. Inbounds comes into Anthony. Anthony working right side, top of the key against the 1-3-1 zone. Anthony barks out some signals. Flips it underneath. It goes to Turbiatis. Turbiatis with the left hand scoops and scores. Beautiful play, breaking down the defense from the high post position. Artesia having trouble getting it in. Ball's loose. And they're going to get her on a 5-second count, Lady Eagle basketball.
I mean, how often do you see a girl go down the lane on a reverse instead of just going up with a little quick shot over the front of the rim, but go to her left hand and then reverse it off the glass? That's pretty dominating.
That's pretty. It had a nice sweet touch at the end. So another turnover there as Hobbs Lady Eagles will bring the ball in up 8-0 here with 4:27 on the clock. Right side goes top of the key. Shot by Erin Hall is going to be off the rim. Ball's loose. It's going to be back into Hobbs' possession as Brett Clay comes away with it. Right side Hall. Looks for Tori Beatis. Back to Hall. Hall for 3. Right hands it up off the rim. Ball's loose. Anthony comes away with it. Check that. That was Tori Beatis. No, excuse me. Nia Joseph on the backside with the rebound, and she scores. Artesia trying to get a ball across half court. Ball's loose, and Joseph comes away with it. Here's Anthony. She's attacking 1-on-3. Anthony with a scoop of the right hand and scores against 3 defenders. Wisdom Anthony.
6 points for her and 4 Artesia turnovers. Half of those points coming off the transition, coming off bad passes and getting stopped at the perimeter.
Timeout on the floor. They want to talk it over. The Lady Eagles 12, Artesia nothing. You're listening to Lady Eagle basketball on the Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
30.
We're back in 10. Five, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Tori Beatis with a quick steal and a score. Artesia comes back up court, throws one off the back of the iron, and it's going to be controlled by the Lady Eagles. Anthony coming across the timeline under pressure. Looks to the right side, flips it back door, and she's got Tori Beatis. Check that. That's Anaya Joseph, and Joseph goes up with the left hand and scores on the second shot put back. Artesia against pressure. Stolen by Joseph in the backcourt. Flips over to near side. Hall has it. Hall looks, comes across into the hands of Tori Beatis with the left hand, scoops and scores, and she's got the foul.
Offensive foul.
Oh, they got her with the charge.
Joseph playing like a little guard out there, all over the court, taking it to the rack, putting her head down and going. And, boy, you can't imagine she's a 6-foot post player.
3:22 into the game, 16-0 here. The Lady Eagles on top of the Lady Bulldogs. Artesia under pressure, looking to inbound. They've got it into Wagner. Wagner working with the left hand. She's under pressure from Aguilar. Flips it across court, across the timeline. Left hand near side. Long three for Artesia. Draws nothing. Hobbs with control. Anthony runs it down, crosses the timeline. Right side Hall. Hall fakes a three, drives, fires, misses everything, but it's going to be cleaned up on the backside by Anaya Joseph, and Joseph gets two. Here's Wagner working against the zone. Near side, comes across the timeline. Pass on the back end is going to be controlled by Hobbs. A nice steal there by Aguilar, flips it over to Joseph. Joseph into the corner, long three. It's going to be nothing, no rim, nothing. Right side Hall, Hall with the right hand up. It doesn't draw iron either. Artesia controls, ball's loose. And spin move underneath as Joseph took a couple extra steps trying to get there, and that'll end up being a walk called against the Lady Eagles.
She didn't know if she wanted to spin, do a reverse layup, scoop shot, pass, and that time it got the best of her. I should mention 3 players now with 6 points apiece. Anthony, Turbiatas, and Joseph. Talk about some even offensive maneuvers out there.
Absolutely. Artesia to inbound. Near side. They get into the middle of the attacking zone for the press. Back to Wagner, under pressure, finally across the timeline. Here's Cox. Cox takes it with the right hand. She misses, controlled by Hall. Hall's going to push it up the court. Pressure from Artesia. Hall looking across court, finds, looks like Tori Beatis. Tori Beatis flips it on the far side into the corner. Three from Hobbs, it's up, and it's good. Wisdom Anthony for three.
Again, she's 4th all-time 3-point shooter for the Hobbs Lady Eagle program, so definitely one of the sharpshooters for this squad with a couple more seasons left.
Artesia still struggling to get across the timeline here. Ball's loose into the hands of Greathouse. Greathouse, three, up, off the back of the backboard, controlled by Anthony. It's 4-on-3. Anthony's pushing up with the left hand. She's going to reset the offense. Steps back, fires three in the corner. Anthony off the iron. Controlled by Hall. Hall's looking for Aguilar. It's not there. Artesia will control. Quickly up the court. Here's Greathouse. Greathouse with the right hand. He's going to hand it over to Audrey Vela, who's under the game. Into the corner to Wagner. Wagner for three, and Artesia's on the board as Wagner drains it from the left wing.
Yeah, their first points down by 18 now with 1:12 left in the first.
Right side, Hobbs looking to attack. Shot from Brett Clay. Nothing there. Hobbs gets the ball on the rebound on the far side by Hall. Hall's going to throw it off of an Artesia player.
They're really trying to get that inside on every play, forcing some passes in the last couple down the courts. But still, it's nice to see a team looking to the inside, especially when you have 2 6-foot players and other ones checking in for them too.
Anthony works the inbounds into the corner. Here's Hall for three. Front of the iron. Ball's loose, controlled by Hobbs. Clay right side to Aguilar. Aguilar flips it out top of the key. Wisdom Anthony. Anthony sets up the offense with the left hand into the corner. Got Brett Clay to Hall. They're working against the zone. Wisdom Anthony for three. Off the iron. Ball's loose. Artesia controls. Artesia's on the run. Hall quickly hustles from behind and steals it. Great job there by Erlen Hall.
That's the 8th turnover for the Lady Bulldogs.
21-3 with 30 seconds left here in the quarter. Hobbs leads. Brett Clay, right corner, fires off the glass. Nothing there. Artesia controls, and they attempt to slow it down. Here's Wagner taking her time. Referee just starts the clock now. Near side Beltran. Wagner back to Greathouse across the timeline. They try to throw it back door. It's loose. It's going to be off the hands of Artesia, and that'll be Lady Eagle basketball.
8.2 seconds. Lady Eagles can go the distance of the court as Coach Carpenter is out there in the corner of the court trying to get his team to move on down. They don't need 3 people in the backcourt, just need 2 to move it up.
Lady Eagles bringing it across with 7 seconds. Time's on the clock. Anthony's going to take it herself with the left-hand scoop, and she's going to get fouled. And with 2.2 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter, Wisdom Anthony goes to the free throw line.
I was wondering if we get any free throws in this game at all, as Hobbs pretty much having the dominating factor in the front court. Now it'll be a chance to get those 2 frees.
2 fouls on both teams at this point here in the first quarter.
That was against Coda Beltran, her first.
Anthony's first offering from the charity stripe off the iron.
She leads the team now with 7 points, or make it 9, excuse me.
Anthony back to the charity stripes. 2 dribbles, spins it up with the right hand, fires, and it's good. Anthony now with 10. 2 seconds left. Into Wagner, and Wagner's going to be dribbling as time expires. That's the end of the first quarter. Your score, the Lady Eagles 22, Lady Dogs 3. You're listening to Lady Eagle basketball on the Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
1 minute, please.
Thank you. $30. Coming back in 10. Three, two, one.
Welcome back to Tasker Arena. Hobbs Lady Eagles 22, the Artesia Lady Dogs 3. That's the interesting first quarter, Ty.
Yeah, a lot of girls getting involved in the offense. Wisdom Anthony leading with 10 points, or actually 9 points, I should say. 6 for Elise Turbiatis and 6 for Joseph. A total of 8 turnovers for Artesia, just 4 for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Looks like they're in control of this game and might be just a cruise to the victory.
Erlen Hall to inbounds the ball here to start the second quarter. Wisdom Anthony will be the receptor. And across the timeline we come as second quarter action starts. Right side Hall. Hall working against the man-to-man defense. Near side flips around. Far side Anthony. She receives a pick and roll. Goes back door. They're looking for Tori Beatas. Not there. It's going to be out of bounds, but the Lady Eagles basketball. Wagner tried to save it.
Hobbs has had some lackadaisical passing down low. They'll somehow get their hands back on it and get the ball back, so that shows you that they're not going to just give up when the ball's deflected once in a while.
Hobbs running a flat 4 inbound here. Goes top of the key on the alley-oop, straight to Tori Beatas. She misses. Rebound Hall, and Hall's going to be fouled going back up with it.
That's what you call second and third effort there. You got a big body, 6 foot. You're standing there, but you're still jumping, not just being flat-footed like you see in junior high ball where girls think, I'm taught, I don't have to do anything. But these girls are taught to get off the floor.
I liked the alley-oop on the inbound. Joseph's first offering at the free throw line off the back of the iron. That's a miss.
Lady Eagles 1 for 3 from the charity stripe. Anthony went 1 for 2 at the end of the first quarter.
Nia Jofa spins it up onto the fingers and fires again. This one's going to take a high bounce but roll in. And that free throw is good. 23-3 as Artesia loses it again coming across the timeline. Here's Anthony working 1-on-3. Anthony with the right hand off the back of the iron, controlled on the backside by Joseph, and she misses the putback. Wagner has it. She's going to hand to Beltran. Beltran left side, Greathouse. Greathouse is being trapped from behind. Erlen Hall gets the steal, and it goes off of a foot there, and they're going to call it a Hobbs foot, so it's Artesia basketball.
What I like to see, too, even the big girls getting down court, sprinting back on defense. And Nia Joseph was back there quicker than anybody else, and she's the tallest player out there.
That's the nice thing about our size is not slow. Top of the key, and it's going to be taken by Cora Cox. Cox going to have it swatted away quickly up the court for the Lady Eagles. On a putback, here's Joseph, and Joseph with the right hand. She'll put it in and be fouled, and Joseph will get another opportunity at the free throw line.
Second in scoring now with 9 points. She was just there seconds ago, and that's how you get on the free throw line. You try to clean up the board work, put down some shots there, and help your teammates out, and you're going to get paid back here with the reward of the free throws.
And she got the basket, which makes it 25-3. Lady Eagles lead here in the second quarter. We kind of thought the Lady Eagles had some advantages coming into the game, but man, this is something else. Here's the Joseph's offering with the right hand. It's up and in. Artesia to inbounds. 26-3. Hobbs with a 23-point lead. Near side, here's Greathouse. Looks back at Wagner. It's not there. Flips it backside. Looking for Beltran. Stolen away. Straight up the court with the left hand. A scoop and score. Wisdom Anthony off the left side.
Leads with 11 now for the Lady Eagles.
Coming across the timeline, Greathouse. She's looking backdoor for Cora Cox. Cox can't control it off her foot. And actually going to say it's touched by one of the Lady Eagles. And that'll be Artesia basketball.
Should say Anthony with a total right now of 12 points. Short of her a point there on one of her free throws.
Artesia to inbound underneath the attacking basket. Right side, Cox. Cox straight up the middle. No challenge from the Hobbs defense. They let her go, and Cox puts it in with the right hand.
She led the team last year with 9 points.
Right side, Hall. Hall looking underneath. There's nobody there. Flips it over to Anthony. Round the horn. It goes to Jemiah Clay. Left side, Clay tries to take it, and she's going to have it swatted away. But they're going to call a foul on that, and that'll put Clay at the free throw line.
Not quite sure if she was trying to shoot or try a wraparound pass behind the backboard on that side of the glass, but she got the benefit of the doubt from the official, and that's all you need to get yourself some free throws.
Absolutely. Like to see that aggression from Jemiah Clay. She is a senior. Right hands it up, and it's going to be off the iron.
That's a good thing about a lot of these players. Even though they're young, they've gotten some experience with the state tournament, and she was up there last year playing some tough perimeter defense, and that's what Coach Carpenter would like to see from his people that move up in the system.
Clay with the second opportunity. It's up and good, and that makes it 29-5. Artesia across the timeline. Here's Cox. Backdoor left side. It goes to number 23, Lead top of the Greathouse. Greathouse flips it over to Beltran under pressure. Beltran with the right hand scoops. And she's going to end up having it tied up, and that'll be a jump ball.
Looks like Coach Carpenter going with a little bit, maybe a 2-3 or a matchup zone defense on that perimeter, making sure there's no outside shot attempts whatsoever. I mean, they're not even getting close to penetrating either.
And really, what I'm seeing with our 2-3, it looks a lot like the Syracuse 2-3, where we're extending it out, and we're getting a lot of corner traps and stuff. It's a lot like what the stuff that Boeheim runs over at Syracuse.
They have a whole new 5 checking in for the Lady Eagles, and that tells you he's got a lot of trust in his squads, even though when the first group comes off for Coach Carpenter.
Inbound comes in to Wagner, and there ain't nobody there. Wagner scores easily on the inbound. It's now 29-7.
She has 5 of the 7 Artesia points through this second quarter.
Bryn Hargrove bringing it up for the Lady Eagles. Near side to Nakia Mojica. Comes in far side to Size. They're going to hand it to the left side. All the way around, Hargrove, top of the key. Pressure from Greathouse. She gets the steal. Greathouse is going to try to take it herself, and she's going to get ran over as Carolina Sias floors her there and puts an end to that attack.
Like to see that quick play of the Hobbs Lady Eagle guards at the offensive end, but sometimes those passes are kind of floating around the top of the perimeter. That's going to be a pickoff time, which Artesia got away with that time.
Lady Eagles making a quick substitution here. Looks like they brought Clay back onto the floor. Artesia to inbound. Looking near side. Here's Greathouse from about 12 off the iron. Ball's loose. Controlled by Greathouse. She gets it back. Makes a nice little flip pass to number 23. That is Lieb. Alyssa Lieb, and she puts it in. Across the timeline with the right side. Here's the attack from the Lady Eagles. Pump fake for the 3. Nice jump shot off the iron. Controlled by the Lady Eagles. Quickly back up as Hargrove. Hargrove with the right hand. She misses. Ball's loose. Top of the key, Clay. Right side, Hargrove. Hargrove pumps, fires, shoots off the iron. Ball's loose again. Here's Clay with a rebound. Now it's loosened on the floor, and they're going to tie her up. We get a quick jump ball, and this is going to go to Artesia.
Boy, Bryn Hargrove, who just came off the bench, the 8th grader, is not afraid to shoot that ball, not just tanking it up. She's good head fakes, moving left and right, getting a shot up, and following through. And hasn't dropped one yet, but that tells you about the guts of this team with 8th graders doing that early.
Absolutely. They have no fear. On the inbound, they try to go back door to Aguilar. It's not there. It's going to be off of Artesia, though, as they knock it out of bounds.
Artesia kind of changing their look down 1-4 as the inbound comes in, 4 across the lane.
Inbound comes in, top of the key. They flip it out to Hargrove. Hargrove has no fear. She drives in, has it swatted away. Artesia on the counter, comes back up. Greathouse has it. She can't control it. It's going to go out of bounds. Lady Eagle basketball.
Bulldogs now already in double digits for turnovers with 11, Hobbs with 5, and of course the Lady Eagles taking big advantage of that 20-point lead.
29-9 is that 20-point lead. 4:52 on the clock. Timeout on the floor. We'll come back after 30 seconds. You're listening to Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on the Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
30, please.
Yes, sir. Ten. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Tasker Arena. 29-9, the Hobbs Lady Eagles lead as the inbound comes in to Nakia Mojica and back to Clay, who brings it across the timeline. Near side Hargrove to Mojica. Mojica on the attacking zone. Bounce pass backdoor for Aguilar. She throws it up. Nothing there. Ball's loose. There's going to be a scrum for it. Artesia comes away with it. Hobbs pressuring. Here's Wagner. Wagner trying to get it across the timeline. She does. Right side under pressure. It's Cox into the corner. Cox gets it back. She's going to post up with the right hand. Air ball. Controlled by Brett Clay. Clay brings it up with the right hand. Hands it right side Mojica. Mojica looking for Aguilar. Aguilar steps out. She fires from 16. It's off the iron. Ball's loose as it goes onto the floor. Aguilar ends up taking it away on a steal. It's loose again. Mojica brings it out and resets. Goes to Hargrove off the top. Hargrove fires it up and misses. Loose ball. Artesia's going to go for the long ball in the pass. They're going to baseball it down to number 11. That's Audrey Vello. And Vello's going to get fouled as she goes up on her attempt.
And that was the 8th grader, Brent Hargrove, trying to come back and to make a block on a shot as the Lady Eagles the touch isn't really there on the shots at the offensive end. They're getting some open opportunities, but they're just not following through, and sometimes getting blocked too. So they got to jump off the floor a little bit to extend those jumpers.
Vello's opportunity at the free throw line, it's up with the right hand, and it's no good.
All new 5 again, too, coming in for them.
Absolutely. And, a lot of coaches do this. If you have a 20-point lead in the first quarter, at that point, you just start playing 5-a-side basketball. You start mixing in some younger ones with some older ones. You might run 3 older ones with 2 younger ones and then flip it on the backside.
I think Coach Carper also wants to see some more points getting put on the board, too. They've been kind of quiet here the last few minutes.
Vello hits the second one, and that takes the score to 19 at 29-10. Right side, it's Anthony. Anthony, top of the key. She's got Hall. Left side, flips it around. Joseph backdoors it looking for Hall. And Hall had a little bit of a lane but couldn't quite control it. Working at top of the key, it's Alexia Fabula who's entered the game. Into the corner. Anthony for 3 with the right hand, no good. Call on this, there's a backside call. And this is going to go, I think, against Joseph. It does. They're going to get Joseph for a push in the back.
Actually, I think, Joseph will have her first. and that will be the 15th foul against the Lady Eagles.
Artesia working it up against the zone. They're going to throw it away, but Hobbs receives it on the line, so it's going to be out of bounds. It'll be Artesia basketball.
Of course, this is the first game for Artesia, the second for the Lady Eagles. That big win against Los Lunas on Saturday, three-time defending state champs that had just moved up to the 4A. So impressive win when you have two state players on the team, all-state guard and a post player. So great win with 30 turnovers caused against that squad.
Great house across the timeline, into corner to Velo. Velo in trouble, looking. She finds Great House. Great House with the left hand. Wisdom Anthony steals it from behind. Anthony with the length of the court, coast to coast with the left hand, and she scores.
14 points for Anthony to lead both teams.
Artesia once again trying to break the zone. Great House in trouble around the back. Looks for help. She gets it. Give and go. She gets it back. Hall working it from behind. Great House throws it away. Stolen away by Turbiates with the right hand all the way up the court and scores under pressure. And the Lady Eagles now move up to 33-10. It's a 23-point lead.
Turbiates, 8 points for the Hobbs squad.
Riley Greer, she's going to hand it to Great House. Great House under pressure. She's double teamed. They're going to tie her up. And they're going to get her with a jump ball. That'll be Artesia ball after the possession.
That time an extended 2-3 zone. Send the guards way up towards the half court. Start putting a lot of pressure on that point guard, and it's really causing her fits at this point in time. And Lady Eagles just waiting for that ball to get back so they can go down to the other end and score.
And I think you're right about that when they extend out the zone. It's not a traditional sagging 2-3 zone. It's a 2-3 zone that's meant to trap. And it's designed to be, fluid and create a lot of double teams and then pressure off the wings.
A lot of times you see those traps on the sides, but this time they're going right up middle of the floor and taking care of it right there.
And, when the person dribbling the ball turns their back to you, you can't help but to trap it. Great House right side, stolen away quickly. Anthony with the left hand up the court. In the basket it goes, and it's 35-10.
That's that old cliche term, the telegraph pass. You just pretty much show where you're going to pass it, and it's going to get picked off.
Just like that one right there, Tori Beatis picks it off. She's going to drive in, and Wagner's going to step under her for the block and not get the call as Tori Beatis scores with the left side.
Now she's in double digits with 10.
Across the timeline, here's Cox straight up the court with the right hand, in and out. Ball's loose, she gets it back, fires it up off the glass, and Cox gets one. It's now 37-12.
She was falling backwards on her butt that time and still threw that off the glass for 2.
Anthony, left side, works it back. Top of the key, Anthony with the right hand off the iron. Ball's loose, Tori Beatis at the free throw line. Right hands it off the iron again. Loose again, and it's going to be put up and in by Anaya Joseph.
This team will not give up on the boards. They're going to continue to go after it. And Joseph also in double digits in this game with 12.
She's a machine under the basket. Here's Cox with the right hand again. Cora Cox is single-handedly trying to keep Artesia in this game.
She's got 6 of the 14 for the Bulldogs.
Backdoor attempt to Tori Beatis, not there. Anthony's looking for some help. She gets it. She goes top of the key to Fabula. Fabula is going to drive with the right hand, and she'll get fouled. A little bit of aggression there from Alexia Fabula.
Yeah, Fabula went right through 2 defenders that time, kind of lead towards the basket to draw that foul and made Cox go over the top of her.
She'll be the recipient of 2 at the charity stripe.
Hobbs Lady Eagles currently have 7 free throw attempts, converted on 4 of them.
Right hands it up, and it's in and out.
So 25-point lead, 39-14, 53 seconds left, second quarter. Everything going in pretty good shape here for Coach Carpenter and their first home game of the season.
Second opportunity for Fabula is up and in. She's got it. She's on the board. Beltran working across, going to be knocked away by Tori Beatis. Wisdom Anthony, middle of the floor, is going to be hammered as she shoots with the right hand, and Great House fouls her.
So continuing to get the shots, getting the rebounds, and just taking it to the hoop as best they can. That's why the lead is such inflated here at this point, and it's going to be pretty tough for Artesia to come back in this one.
Yeah, they haven't shown that they're able to really break the press with consistency as her first attempt's good. And, when you don't have a lot of time to work on a press because you're just coming out of volleyball and a team presses as good as we do, that's really a bad situation for Artesia. Second one off the iron, Artesia controls. Wagner to Beltran. Beltran with the left hand to Wagner. Wagner across the timeline. Gets it across under pressure. She's going to be fouled from behind as Erilyn Hall tries to steal it.
Should mention Wisdom Anthony with 17 points already. She had 19 in the full game against Los Lunas on Saturday, so she's almost there with one more bucket.
She's actually outscored the Artesia Lady Dogs already.
Correct.
Lady Dogs to inbound. Great House, left side, gets it back top of the key. Flips it to Beltran. Beltran in trouble. Working top of the key. Here's Cox. Cox going to aggressively drive. Great House for three, left side. Off the iron. Controlled by the Lady Eagles. Fabula has it. They're pressuring her. Fabula takes her time, flips it out. She finds Anthony, and Anthony quickly brings it up the court. Left side, Fabula. Looking for Tori Beatis. Tori Beatis with the left hand off the glass.
Just 5 seconds left.
Great House trying to find a way to bring it up the court. Ball goes out of bounds. 0.3 on the clock. They're probably not going to get a shot off here.
Yeah, technically, in the rule book, you have to have a tip on on 0.3 or less. So we'll have to see if they're going to go ahead and rule on that or not.
They're going to give it to Hobbs here. So an alley-oop is the only way you're going to score here. And I think they're looking for Joseph for just that. No, they don't. They go top of the key and don't get the shot off. That's halftime. Your score, Hobbs Lady Eagles 41, the Artesia Lady Dogs 14. We'll be back with the Lady Eagle halftime show. You're listening to Hobbs basketball on Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
3 minutes, please.
I know. Thanks. One minute. $30. Back in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Tasker Arena. 41-14. Hobbs Lady Eagles lead the Artesia Lady Bulldogs, and several Hobbs players are already in double figures. The Hobbs Lady Eagles kind of running away with this one already.
Yeah, been pretty much big offensive production from the start. I mean, Wisdom Anthony already had 10 points just in the first quarter alone. She added 7 in the second and leads the team with 17 points. She's also 2 for 4 for the charity stripe, 50% there. The other 2 in double figures, Anaya Joseph with 12. She had 6 in both quarters and was 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. And then Elise Turbiatis hit 6 in the first quarter and 4 in the second quarter for 10 points. So as you mentioned, the Hobbs Lady Eagles, a total of, 39 out of the 41 coming at the hands of those 3 players. Jemiah Clay went 1 of 2 from the line for 1, and Alexia Fabella 1 of 2 from the line for 1. So already 5 in the books for the Lady Eagles. They've had 5 turnovers in the first half and went 6 of 12 for the charity stripe for 50%. On the other side of the coin, nobody even close to double digits so far. Cora Cox got all 6 of her points in the second quarter on 3 buckets. Also, Kaylee Wagner hit a tray in the first quarter, added a bucket in the second for 5 points. Alyssa Libb had a basket for 2 points in the second quarter, and Audrey Bayo went 1 of 2 from the charity stripe for 1 point. Artesia's only been on the line once. They went 1 of 2 for 50%, and they've had a total of 15 turnovers, again compared to 5 for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Hobbs outscored Artesia 22-3 by 19 in the first quarter, and they're up at halftime 41-14, so that was 19-11 in the second quarter. So Artesia started to get some people in the book, especially with the driving of Cora Cox, really putting her body on the line, got knocked to the floor a few times, was diving on the hardwood, trying to keep her team in this ball game. But it's kind of hard to take on these 2 big post players that continue to go after the boards. After the ball gets tipped up, they're back up at it again. You got people like Wisdom Anthony with some great penetration down the lane, and a couple other girls stepping up too. So they definitely, Hobbs looks like they're kind of, and they're playing some crisp passing game around the perimeter too, but they're kind of just waiting to see when Artesia's going to buckle under and let Hobbs go to the hoop with it. Yeah,
I think the biggest thing is pressure is like poison. And eventually that poison takes effect and turnovers start to come. And that's kind of what they're doing here is they just keep stinging away at them. And at this point, when the starters are on the floor for the Lady Eagles, Artesia has no confidence in getting the ball across half court. They haven't done it consistently. When the starters come off the floor, the game's kind of even. At that point, our younger kids are getting some action, getting some good prep time. And at that point, that game, Artesia can keep up with us a little bit. But with the starters on the floor, it hadn't happened at all.
And with that pressure that we're seeing a quick transition. Coach Carpenter does not want to see any breaks put on here. He wants to keep you tired, so he's going to keep moving his girls up the court. I said this in the pregame and say it again here, is that he gives his team a green light to do what they need to do with the ball up until about the 7-second mark. If you don't have anything at that point, you get into a pattern offense. But and you did see some good movement of the ball around the perimeter. A couple of shot selection wasn't too great when the second group came in, but they weren't scared to shoot the ball. And so you want to see that even at their home court that they're going to come off the bench.
To kind of put in perspective that second group being in there, as young as you are, playing in this venue and this type of game, you're in a varsity game as an 8th grader, and loud Taskerovich playing loudly and the crowd into it. You've got a lot more energy, and you haven't learned to control that energy type of games, and that's why Coach plays them now. He gets that experience. He gives them those repetitions that they need out there, so they can settle down and play basketball like they know how.
And then you got Elise Turbiatis and Anaya Joseph cleaning up all the mess underneath the ball. You could have a bad errant shot. There's a tip in. Another one. Yeah. There's an elbow knocking somebody down as you go get the ball. And it's just fun to watch. Different aspects of their offense with the transition, but also the physical play underneath on the post.
Yeah, I tell you what, they haven't had an answer for that. The height that we have an advantage down low, and not just one player, but just about every position we have a height advantage. That's turned into a lot of offensive rebounds and multiple shots and multiple chances. Whereas, we may shoot the same percentage as them. When you get an extra 15, 20 shots a game, that turns into points.
I think Artesia, the strategy for second half is not to bring the ball across the half line and to stop and wait for that front two defense to come up there and get you trapped. You got to get people coming to the basketball, not being on the island by yourself at point guard. You got to get those wings moving back and helping and move that ball around quick as possible. Easier said than done, but too many times they got kind of the Venus flytrap look. They go, the fly going right into the plant there, and they get gouged, and there goes the ball, and there goes Wisdom Anthony for 17th point of the ball game.
Yeah, feed me Seymour, right?
Correct.
Well, coming us up, we'll have second half action. We're going to take one last break, and we'll come back and see some more Lady Eagle basketball. You're listening to it on 100.5, The Eagle.
Clear.
1:30, please.
Thank you. One. $30. Coming back in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Tasker Arena. 41-14, your score. Both teams have come back on the court, welcomed by the Taskovich Band and the Hobbs Lady Eagles cheerleading squad. Same starting five on the floor for the Lady Eagles. That is Erilyn Hall, Wisdom Anthony, Jemiah Clay, Elise Turribiatas, and Anaya Joseph.
Give him a rest, Coach. Let him sit on the bench. See what your second crew can do with that.
Oh, they will.
Lead.
I bet you about every 2 minutes he sends in another 5. Hobbs Lady Eagles now going right to left on your radio dial. Erilyn Hall to bring the ball in. Wisdom Anthony waiting for it at half court. Waiting for the three-man crew to get in position.
Of course, we didn't mention this too. Very hard for Hobbs to get games scheduled this year because of the championship. Teams have said, hey, we're not going to be ready to play this team with the caliber they've got on the court.
Yeah, that would be difficult. Clay right side. Clay with a stutter step. It's going to be taken underneath by Tori Beata. She scrambles for it, and she hits the floor hard. It's going to go out of bounds, Artesia Lady Bulldog basketball. Right side, Greathouse working against it. She's looking middle of the zone. She's going to flip it around to Wagner. Wagner, left side to Beltran. Almost stolen away by Clay. Good hustle there by Clay. Top of the key. Cora Cox, right hand, and Cox does it again. Another basket for her.
She's been their biggest threat with 8 of these 16 points, so 50% of the scoring. Now a 1-3-1 zone for Artesia on the D.
Tori Beata, she's working against that zone. Backdoors it for Joseph. It's there. Joseph with a putback. She misses both. Gets it a third time, puts it up, and this time it drops in.
How many opportunities there? Way too many for Artesia's liking.
Here's Wagner working against the attacking press zone. Right side, Greathouse has it. She's going to work toward a trap. Hall goes down and ties her up. That'll be a jump ball. It'll be Artesia basketball, and Greathouse is down hurting a little bit on the floor.
Hobbs has tied it up about 4 or 5 times so far. Most of those in the first half, obviously, as we just get started here. But, again, Lady Eagles being very tenacious. You bring the ball down low, somebody's going to be diving towards it and getting a teammate helping out, too, to get the tie-up.
And Audrey Velo will come in for Greathouse. They want to take a look at her. Velo looks for Beltran, and they start the offense against the 2-3 zone. Hall extending it out. Great right side, Wagner. Wagner between the legs goes to Cox. Cox middle of the zone with the right hand. She does it again. Cora Cox.
That's a nice little fade shot in the paint. That's what's getting kind of around the defenders and put it down. 10 points to lead the Lady Bulldogs.
Near side to Hall. Hall looks for Tori Beata. She's at the high post with the left hand. Drives against the zone. She fades. Going to have it blocked away by Wagner. Artesia trying to get up the court quickly. Anthony knocks it away. She gets a steal on that one. Anthony, she quickly reverses direction, brings it up court with the right side. Left hand, she's going to split the zone herself. Goes up with the left hand and scores! She's fouled and the ball will go. Wisdom, Anthony, wow.
She ran right into the official on the baseline. He kind of just looks at her and say, who's going to stop this train that's coming at me 100 miles an hour?
He took a nice charge there, don't you think?
That's true.
He didn't call himself for taking the charge.
Well,
though.
he was kind of moving backwards a block, in my opinion.
Yeah, there you go. Was he inside the circle? Yeah. Here's Anthony with the right hand. She completes the trifecta, and she now has 20 on the night. Wagner working against the 2-2-1 press. Right side, Cox. Cox goes up again off the iron. Going to be knocked away by Joseph, who's going to flip it out right side to Anthony. Anthony finds Clay, and Janiah Clay is going to right-hand it up and in on the fast break.
She's got 3 points, her first bucket of the ball game.
30-point lead here for the Lady Eagles. Wagner goes top of the key looking for Cox. Stolen by Anthony, and she's going to get another layup uncontested.
That's 17 turnovers for Artesia, a lot of those uncontested.
Anthony with another steal knocks it away. Clay has it. She loses it. Right side, it goes to Alyssa Lieb, and Lieb's going to have it blocked. They're going to call a foul, and Lieb will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, they get a little bit physical for both teams right now, out of control, and it's going to cause some problems. Some crowd starting to boo, too, as kids are getting pushed in the face and shoved. And
I think they reacted to that one because they thought it was a clean block on that final one. You let about 3 or 4 go, and then you call that.
Artesia just 1 of 2 from the line, is stepping up for him is Alyssa Lieb.
Lieb spins it up onto the fingers with the right hand up, and it's no good.
Call that on Joseph, by the way. That's her second personal.
And here comes the 5-a-side you were asking for. 5:35 on the clock. Here comes the subs. Lieb back at the line for the second of 2. Takes 2 dribbles, puts it up onto the fingers, and fires it up and good. 50-19 your score. Across the timeline, near side. Looks for Hargrove. Hargrove spins away, fires it across court. Goes underneath, and they were looking for Brett Clay. It's going to be knocked away and stolen by Artesia. Artesia looks for the back door. It goes to Lieb, and Lieb with the fadeaway with the right hand. She's got it.
Yeah, Artesia's starting really using that paint to their advantage. Little fade shots going all over the place. Lady is kind of flat-footed on the D.
Mojica works it to Hargrove. Hargrove looking. Hargrove, top of the key to Fabula. Fabula right sides it around. She's got Elizabeth Buendia. Right side to Hargrove. Hargrove into the middle of the lane with the right hand. They don't get the press set up, though. Cox ends up getting on the fast break. Here's Lieb. Looks back for Cox. Cox with that right-handed fade. She's got another.
She ain't going to give up in there. That's 12 points. She's got 6 here in the third and 6 at halftime.
And we were a little bit lost setting up that press. We had too many people on one side. Here's Buendia. Buendia, left side, Clay. Buendia is going to try to spin it around, and she's going to lose it. Stolen away by Artesia. Artesia across half court. Top of the key. Looks like Beltran going to right-hand it over to Velo into the corner. Cox for 3 in the corner. Air ball. Controlled by the Lady Eagles. Hargrove has it. Check that. That looks like Fabula. Across the timeline. Here's Mojica left side. She's going to drive. Has a right-handed fade. She's going to miss everything, but they're going to give her for the charge as she lands on one of the Artesia players coming down. They are aggressive. I tell you what, the bench is a very aggressive squad.
And that's one drawback from your platoon subbing. If you put a whole new 5 in there, you really don't have that chemistry yet. You know, it's kind of easier to just put people in 1 at a time or 2 at a time when you need that. Because right now you got a lot of inexperienced girls on the floor at the same time, and it could be a disaster if you let it go too far.
Absolutely. Got a trap on the near side. Greathouse tries to get it across the timeline, does so. Goes back door, stolen away by Fabula. Fabula looking for help. She goes to Hargrove. Hargrove with the right hand comes across the timeline. Sets up the offense. Hargrove almost walks with it. She quickly resets it. Right side, Buendia. Mojica. Back to Hargrove. Hargrove, middle of the lane. Looks back door. She's got Fabula. Fabula puts it up and misses it. It's going to come down. They got a little jump ball as there was a scrum for it.
Notice there's not as much size for either team on the court right now. A big contrast to what we saw to start the game with the starting lineup for the Hobbs Lady Eagles at 2 6-footers. So now it's getting more of a guard action. They're getting kind of physical underneath, too. They're really going hard to the boards after missed shots.
Absolutely. Near side, Clay works it to Hargrove. Hargrove far side to Mojica. With the right hand, she resets the offense. Switches back to the left, gives it to Hargrove. Working two-girl ball on the near side. Hargrove top of the key. Right side, looks for Saez. Saez goes to Clay. Clay bodies up, spins around, has it blocked away. It's on the floor. Clay has it, and they're going to call a jump ball as they tie her up on the ground.
Hobbs trying to get some continuity here on the offense, trying to work together as a team, and we're seeing a lot of one-on-one plays here, and they're kind of causing some turnovers and some missed opportunities underneath.
And we got a whistle here. They're trying to discuss something. One of the referees, they need somebody to tie shoes. Multiple shoes need to be tied. There we go.
3:28 left here in the third, and Hobbs leading 52-23, a 29-point lead.
Artesia looking to inbounds. Good pressure from Mojica on the far side, knocks it out of bounds. 2-2-1 press set up. Artesia flips it over the top. Quickly tied up, and that'll be a jump ball immediately as Brett Clay gets there to tie up Beltran. Mojica to inbounds far side, 52-23 with 3:24 left on the third. Hargrove has it. Hargrove working against the 1-3-1 zone. Mojica right side. Mojica Hargrove into the corner. Back up to Mojica. Mojica looks, nothing in the high post. She goes back to the corner to Hargrove. Hargrove looking for Clay. It's knocked away. Beltran has it. Ball's loose. They're fighting for it, and they're going to get a quick tie-up, and this will be another jump ball.
You see a lot of these jump balls early in the season as players are trying to get that old dribbling mechanism working again, a little bit rusty out there, keeping it down too low and letting the defense dive on top of it.
Artesia to attack. Greathouse walks with it, no call. Right side, works Beltran. They go top of the key, looking for the backdoor pass. Backdoor pass goes to Lieb, and Lieb tries to catch Cox cutting and can't quite make connections.
That's a total of 20 turnovers now for Artesia.
Lady Eagles coming across the timeline. Hargrove with the right hand sets up the offense. 1-3-1 look again from Artesia. Near side. Here's Aguilar. Aguilar back out deep to Hargrove for three, and Hargrove drains it. Looking more and more comfortable as the game goes along. And they're going to get a block call. That's going to go against Carolina Saez, who was trying to trap over on the sideline there. 2:27 showing on the clock. 57-23 your score. And I tell you, Ty, Hargrove is looking better and better as the game goes.
Yeah, she definitely, and that's one of the girls that coaches talked about, too, being one of their outside shooters. They had a few people stepping up last year, but he really needs more people to help out on those long balls.
You can't have enough shooters. That's the one thing you always want. Trap in the corner. Artesia comes out, throws up an air ball. We're going to get a foul call as this is going to go against Brett Clay.
Once again, I mean, that's, these Artesia girls are starting to find out that you don't get on the free throw line unless you take shots in the paint and make people get up on top of you.
Wagner goes to the line to shoot two. Kaylee Wagner, the 5'10 senior. Takes her time, spins it around, flips it up onto the right hand and fires. Off the back of the iron. No go. Third quarter action here. Lady Eagles with a comfortable 31-point lead. Here's Wagner, and we got a lane violation. This is going to be another free shot for Wagner as Aguilar steps into the lane too soon.
Not the best way you want to start a season playing the championship team in the best division in the state of New Mexico. Artesia trying to get themselves back in this one.
Wagner's right hand this time is good. 54-24, 30-point lead. Artesia showing press. Hargrove flips it far side. Size back to Hargrove. They go back door in and out of the hands of Brett Clay. Ball's loose. It's going to be stolen back by the Lady Eagles. Into the corner to Clay. Clay looks for a three. Doesn't want it. She drives. Right hands it up. Off the back of the iron. Ball's loose. Two Lady Eagles had a chance at it, but I think they knocked it out of their own hands. They're fighting for it.
Trying to get a coach some little bit more playing times. We get the season going here. Trying to play as tough as they can. It looks like the new 5 will be checking in on the next dead ball.
Here's Cox working against the zone. She's trapped. Hargrove has her pinned. Time's running out. They're going to get it across just in time. Greathouse with the right hand. Into the corner to Wagner. Wagner studying around with it. She's looking for something to do. Wagner looks for the post, and they've got Cox down in the post. And they got a foul call. No continuation there. It'll be before the shot.
Ariana Aguilar might have hipped her up just a bit from behind there, trying to put on a saddle. But can't really downfall her for that. She's playing some physical D underneath.
Five-a-side basketball as they're subbing back in the starting 5.
Of course, Wisdom Anthony, one of those, leading the team currently in scoring with 22 points, 14 for Anaya Joseph, 10 for Elise Turbiatis. Elise hasn't scored yet here in the second half.
And we have a full timeout being called by Artesia on the floor. Your score, 54-24, 1:40 on the clock here in the third. We'll be back after these messages. You're listening to Hobbs Lady Eagle Basketball on 100.5, The Eagle.
Clear.
1 minute, please.
Thank you. Getting back to you in 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Tasker Arena. 54-24, the Lady Eagles lead. Artesia to inbound underneath their own basket. Inbound comes knocked away loose real quick by Hall, and Wagner's going to go up there and they get a foul call there. Wagner's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Tell you what, Artesia's not scared to shoot the basketball. I think that's what was discussed at halftime with Coach Hotling, that we got to take more shots out there. I mean, the first quarter they were having trouble even getting a shot up, period. Now they're starting to kind of push their body, lean a little bit into their shots and getting those hack jobs there, and the referees are picking it up.
You know, I've done this a long time, Ty, and I've learned that in order to score, you have to shoot.
That's true.
First one offering is up and off the iron, no good. Wagner back at the line, takes 4 dribbles, puts it on the right fingers, and fires it. This one off the back of the iron as well.
They're just 3 for 8 from the charity stripe.
Good rebound there by Joseph, and Joseph's going to flip it over to Anthony, who starts the offense at the timeline. Anthony's going to bounce it off her foot. Artesia gets it back. Beltran looking for Cox. Ball's loose. Cox in trouble. Throws it up. Air ball, but they're going to get a foul call, and Cox will go to the line to shoot again.
Well, I think she's going a little far on some of those shots. I mean, she wants to get a chance to score. She knew she had 3 players, triple team down there on that left block. But I guess if you can get the call, you're going to take the free throws on that. But still, a little bit of a force action.
I thought that was going to be a sky hook for a second there. It looked like she was going to do one of them old Kareem sky hooks. Cox at the line. Right hands it up, and it's in.
She ran back to go play defense, forgot that the shot didn't go down, the jump shot prior to that.
It happens. It happens. And they haven't updated the scoreboard yet. They don't even have her in the game as of now.
She's got 13 points leading the Bulldogs, 6 for Lieb and 5 for Wagner.
Her second offering off the iron, and it's going to be controlled by Joseph. Here comes Wisdom Anthony to get it going again against the man-to-man defense now. Artesia showing a new look. Long three. This one's going to draw nothing. Ball's loose. Great job by Joseph, who hustles it down. Anthony in the corner. Second three-point opportunity is good. She drains it, and that makes it 57-25. Here's Cox again. Has it swatted away by Joseph. Hustle there by Joseph. Across the timeline, Clay. Clay looking for help. Hands it back to Anthony. Right side, Hall. Hall for three. No good. Ball's loose. It's still loose. Controlled by Cox. Cox with 36 seconds here in the third. Hustling up against the defense. Ran down from behind by Hall. And Hall's going to be shoved out of bounds there. And I don't think they were going for the ball at all on that one.
Coach Hotling for Artesia was not happy with this player after losing the ball, going after Hobbs like that, so he gets the bench going and gets somebody out there for her. That's a total of 22 turnovers for Artesia, 11 for the Lady Eagles. It hasn't been one of the most cleanest third quarters, but there's a lot of different bodies checking in too, and they're just trying to get kind of a consistency out there.
And right now you're still trying to find your legs and the ones that have come from volleyball, it's a whole different set of muscles to use from volleyball to basketball. And if you hadn't been doing this every day, it's a different feel for sure.
And those pesky masks.
Yeah, basketball with masks. Who'd have thunk it? Inside looking for Joseph. Joseph at the top of the keel, handed left side to Anthony, and they're going to get a foul call. This one's going to go against Lieb, and Anthony will get to bring it in.
That's only the third team foul against the Artesia squad, and the first on Lieb.
Here's Hall left side, fakes the shot, drives in with the right hand. No defense there to stop her as Hall picks up a quick two.
That's her first bucket of the ball game.
59-25. Quickly up the court, number 25. That's Riley Greer. Greer shoots it with the right hand, misses. Half-court shot at the buzzer, no good. Your score, 59-25. We're back after these messages. You're listening to Lady Eagle Basketball on the Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
1 minute, sir.
Thank you. $30. Five, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, 59-25. The Hobbs Lady Eagles up on the Artesia Lady Dogs.
Top scorer for your Hobbs Lady Eagles, Wisdom Anthony with 25 points, a couple of trays, 14 for Joseph, and 10 for Elise Turbiatis. For Artesia, they have Cora Cox with 13, 6 for Lieb, and 5 for Wagner. The Lady Eagles outscored Artesia in that third quarter, 18-11.
Lady Eagles have the second crew back in the game here. Hargrove flips it over. Going to be stolen away by Beltran on the fly. Beltran left side has it ripped away. Good hustle from the Lady Eagles. Fabula loses it. Goes to Brett Clay. Clay right side setting up the offense. Near side Hargrove. Hargrove looking for the back door there, and it ain't there. And they quickly have it knocked out of bounds, and that'll be Artesia basketball.
13 turnover for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. We were talking about size of Turbiatis and Joseph at 6 foot, but I failed to mention too that they have another one out there, Brett Clay. She stands at 5'7", but still looks pretty big.
Absolutely. Working against the zone. They get a three from the far side. Air ball from Artesia, controlled by the Lady Eagles. Here's Hargrove. Left side. Hargrove sends it into the corner to Aguilar. Aguilar from 12, no good. Backdoor rebound. Hobbs puts it back up and misses. Clay comes away with it. Clay working against the zone. She's going to push it in. Now to Fabula. Ball's on the floor, and we get ourselves a jump ball as the game kind of grinds down to mud when that happens.
There have been a lot of jump balls in this game, and it does show that your kids are not giving up. I mean, the ball might get fumbled for a second, but you got people trying to rip it away from each other.
Artesia working against the 2-2-1 zone. Great house. Flips it around far side. Beltran into the corner to Lieb. Leave back to Beltran, top of the key, under pressure. They switch sides. Here's Greathouse. Greathouse looks for Lieb again. Lieb drives. Ball's loose. It's going to be thrown up by Wagner, and then rebound there by number 25, Riley Greer, and Greer gets fouled.
Very big force shot before that rebound, but Artesia, you can tell they were told at halftime, use the lane to your best advantage. Even though you might have some size disadvantage there, try to force it up if you can to get a foul, and that seems to have worked a little bit in that, especially in the third quarter, where they started to pick away at the lead just a bit. But not a lot of time left with just 6:41 and down by 34.
Here's Greer with the right hand. Slow delivery, and it's good. She gets another one. And it looked like about 4 or 5 players wanted to keep playing after that one.
That was her first point of the contest. They're just 5 of 10 from the charity stripe, 50%.
Greer's second offering is up and off the iron. Ball's loose to be controlled by Aguilar. Aguilar has it tied up, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Lady Eagle basketball. Artesia calling off the press here, down 33. Fourth quarter action, 6:35 on the clock. Right side, Clay looks for Aguilar. Aguilar trying to take advantage of it. Goes to Fabula. Fabula with the right hand. She's fouled. And now Fabula gets to go shoot 2.
That's another good thing you see about a lot of these players out here. You might not be a post position, but you will post it up. If you got a space down the lane, you take the pass, get your body squared up, and go up with it.
Sometimes it's the space you create that's more important than your own size. Fabula's first offering, no good.
She is 1 of 3 from the charity stripe at 33%. Hobbs was just 50% at the half break. This has been their first free throw in the second half.
I'm sure Carpenter will address that in practice tomorrow. Second opportunity, no good. Ball's loose. Good rebound by Hargrove. Hargrove goes back door. Long 3. Taking the shot on the outside is Saez. No good. Controlled again by the Lady Eagles. Hargrove near side. Saez top of the key. They're trying to work it. Backdoor Clay. Clay's going to drive. She's going to pick it up with the left hand to Saez. Goes into Fabula. Fabula with the right hand scoop. No good. Ball's loose again. Hargrove has it, and she's going to dribble off of one of the Artesia players. It looks like they're going to give it to Artesia here.
14 Hobbs Lady Eagle turnovers, a total of 23 for Artesia. I mean, even though you're dominating this game, you don't want those incidental stats to pile up either. I mean, you want to have a clean as game as you can, even though it is the first home game and a little bit of tension out there. Nerves to start it off.
Yep. Working through the press. Here's Artesia on the attack. Cox, right side, Greathouse. Greathouse goes around the back. Tries to take it with the right hand. Now she's trapped in the corner. Lady Eagles are ready to jump. They flip it over to Cox. Cox is going to throw up a wild shot. I don't think there's a shot that she's met that she doesn't like.
Well, the problem with it is, though, she is getting some foul calls, but she doesn't even see where the basket is.
Yeah, she gets the contact. Yeah, absolutely. But when she went up for that one, like you said, she couldn't see where the basket was. And it wasn't like it was a true drop step fade or something like that. I mean, she was trying to make the adjustment in the air. Cox at the line with the right hand. No good on the air ball.
She does lead Artesia with 13 points. Hasn't scored here in the fourth quarter. Hobbs still led with Wisdom Anthony's 25, 14 for Joseph, and 10 for Turbiatis. But you have to get a bucket here in the second half. They're not on the court right now, though.
That is correct. Second opportunity up and good. 59-27. We got a sub coming in for Artesia after the free throw. As Velo comes in and Greathouse will sit.
Don't forget, after this game, the Hobbs boys will start off against Artesia, their first game of the season. That'll be on our sister station, Cool 95.7. Also here on YouTube, the Hobbs Athletics YouTube channel, HobbsAmerica.com, and the Cool 95.7 app. So join me and Brian. We'll be back right after the conclusion of this game.
Here's Hargrove against the attacking zone. Clay far side. Clay in trouble. Going to hand it to Saez. They go backdoor Mojica. Nice pass from Mojica. Clay has it. Clay spins up, and coach is telling her, just go straight up there. And Clay gets fouled, and it'll be Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball.
I like how she got her butt down low, though, and kind of bounced it out a bit to try to clear out that lane for her. I mean, didn't make contact. If she would have made contact, she could have got a foul out of it, but still showing that she's getting her presence in that paint.
Nice look from Mojica. Inbound, top of the key. Offense set up. Saez looks left side for Hargrove. Hargrove backdoor to Mojica. She's driving. Mojica has it swatted away. Mojica will go to the line to shoot two.
Kaylee Wagner was still lobbying the official as he walks to the scores table, had her hands straight up in the air and turned and followed him almost for a few steps. It wasn't the problem with the hands up, was the hip that she threw into her.
Absolutely. And, you know, she had one hand down when she did that because she was reaching. Here's Mojica at the line. Right hands it. It's up and out.
Well, she told the referee, I had both my hands reaching. Why did you call that one?
One thing I was noting with Mojica's pass, the backdoor passes that she makes, very, very astute passes and very good passes for her age, being another one of those eighth graders.
I'm not really sure if the ones underneath are really ready for them half the time because they're not expecting a ball to get through that seam.
Absolutely. Mojica's second offering is good. Here's the inbound to Wagner. Wagner going backdoor to Cox. Cox driving the lane. Cox throws it up at the right-hand floater. She's got it again.
Cox now with 16 points.
31-point lead here for the Lady Eagles. And Cox shows that she doesn't have to square up to score. Mojica looking, pressure. Mojica takes a Euro step, doesn't quite come down with it. Greathouse gets it ahead to Cox, and Cox has another one.
That was the first transition bucket for Artesia in this ball game. Now 18 for Cora Cox. She had 9 last year in the loss to Hobbs, so doubled up her points in this one as she grew an extra age year.
Hargrove looking for a cutting Aguilar, can't quite find her and throws it away. Timeout on the floor. They want to talk things over. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
30, please.
Ten. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Tasker Arena. Ty Friend, Coach Brian Coltrane with you. As the Hobbs Lady Eagles, a big lead of 29 points over Artesia. First home game of the season, and 4:18 remaining. This has been pretty much in the bag since the first quarter.
It has, and one of those things, they're playing everybody right now, and they're trying to see what they got and work on some of the stuff with the youth. Artesia across the timeline, falls on the floor. There's going to be a scrum for it, and they're going to call a jump ball, and this will be Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball. I believe that you got a score coming in that you wanted to share.
Yeah, Hobbs girls soccer team won 2-0 today here at Watson Stadium, and I don't know exactly what that on the standings right now. I know Carlsbad was leading for quite a few games, and I'll have to double check to see how they're going to end up with the state tournament just around the corner. Hobbs does have some more games against Carlsbad left, so we'll see how that all washes out. But a great win just next door at Watson Stadium, just wrapped up, 2-0 victory.
Lady Eagles on the attack here. They're going to miss a layup. Ball's going to come back down to the hands. They're going to tie it up. That'll be a jump ball that goes to Artesia. Artesia inbounds. Hobbs still pressing here, up 29 with 4 minutes to go.
By the way, that girls soccer game was a win against Clovis today, 2-0. Sorry I didn't mention that part. Very important.
Always important to beat Clovis. Working against the Hobbs 2-3 zone. Here's Artesia. Greathouse with the right hand. Works to Wagner. Wagner throws up a wild shot. It's going to be off the front of the rim. It's going to be stolen away by Cox, though. And Cox puts it up and in. And, man, she has been a thorn in our side.
7 points in the fourth quarter. Now 20 overall for the Bulldogs.
Here's Hargrove working against the 1-3-1 zone. She's going to take a three with the right hand. It's good. Brent Hargrove.
That's her second tray and now has 8 points for Hobbs.
And she's putting some pressure on here. Greathouse across the timeline. Here's Cox. Backdoor to Lieb. Lieb swings it, fires it. Cox hands it to Wagner. Wagner throws it away, and that'll be Hobbs basketball. And the fans still trickling in here.
Yep, they've got another game to watch. The Hobbs boys next against Artesia. That is the season opener for Hobbs. Artesia has got a victory under their belt as they beat Nimi a couple days back.
Across the timeline, Mojica right side. And it's going to go to Saez. Carolina Saez. Clay into the corner, Mojica. Mojica tries to dribble through a double team. Ball's loose, controlled by Artesia. Backdoor to Cox, and she's going to run right into, looks like Saez, who was attempting to get the steal there. Cox will go to the line. And I believe Saez, that's her first personal foul? No, that's her fifth. I'm sorry. Look back down at my notes. She's gone.
And usually when the turnovers happen, we tend to get fouls going the other way. 16 of those turnovers now for Hobbs, 23 for Artesia. But sloppy basketball sometimes gets you in that vengeance mode of trying to get the ball back after you gave it up too easily, and it ends up biting you.
You are correct there. Cox at the line. Spins it up onto the fingers, fires it up, and no good. Cox with 20 points on the night for Artesia, 20 of their 33. Her second offering from the charity stripe. Right hands it up off the iron, and it'll be controlled by the Lady Eagles. Here's Hargrove quickly up to her. She's being pressured. She's going to throw it to the backside. Mojica has to save it. Saves it into the hands of Artesia. Wagner has it. Wagner to lead. Back to Wagner across the timeline. Backdoors at the far side. Pump fake from Cox. Cox loses it. Controlled by the Lady Eagles. Cox just doesn't give up. She tries to reach for the ball while on the ground, doesn't get it. Hobbs on the fast break, and Mojica scores. Very impressed with the effort of Cox trying to do everything she can. Here she is again with the right hand up, and no good. Lady Eagle basketball. Quickly up the court. Here's Clay. Clay coast to coast. She floats it off the glass. And it's going to be controlled by Fabula. Fabula out to Mojica. Mojica, cross-court pass, stolen away. Here's Cox. Cox throws it ahead to Lieb. Lieb loses it. Goes to Wagner. Wagner back to Lieb. Lieb with the right hand off the iron. Ball's loose. That's going to be a jump ball, and it'll be Hobbs basketball.
Well, they get a piece of it. Both those players did and crashed the floor. Both butts hitting the hardwood pretty hard.
And I saw you over there making calls. Your refereeing skills are coming into play here.
You're trying to stop things from happening sometimes. In girls basketball, sometimes the plays are telegraphed. You can almost guess what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And, that time you can tell they're going to be crashing the floor pretty hard.
That's that way in all sports of basketball for sure. Drives the lane. Hargrove with the right hand. She finds space, doesn't get it though. Going up is check that Fabula, and Fabula is going to go to the line.
She got Coda Beltran up in the air just a little bit and then kind of leaned with the hip towards her. Since the defense is already up in the air, most of the time referee's going to call that a block foul because your position needs to be straight up, and she kind of was leaning on the D on that one.
Beltran has to go to the bench. That's her fifth personal. So one each is fouled out of the games for both teams. 65-33 your score, 128 on the clock here. And the free throw is up and no good.
1:28 left here in this first home game for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Try to get the record to 2-0.
Fabulous second offering with the right hand is good. 66-33. Wagner trying to find room to get it across the timeline. Cross court. Goes to Cox. Cox working backdoor to Lieb. Lieb spins, fires, and she's going to get fouled and go to the line to shoot two.
It's about the second time in this game where Hobbs has been one bucket away from getting this into a mercy rule clock, but hasn't got there yet. So right now sitting at 33.
And I think that's by design. I don't think that he wants to push the lead so much that we're in mercy because he wants to get people playing time.
Lissa Lib on the line. She is 2 for 4, 50%, makes the first.
Good effort there.
And this would be our Artesian double bonus the rest of this game with 1:17 remaining.
Here's the right hand up. Her second offering is good. 1:16 on the clock. Lady Eagles attacking right to left. Across the timeline, here's Hargrove. Back to Clay. Clay working closer to the zone. Mojica, right wing. Back to Clay. Back to Mojica. Mojica, pump fakes, fires, and she's got it. Top of the key after taking a little sidestep. Mojica for three. Here's Clay backdoor, and they just beat us up the court. Working across the timeline with the right hand. Here's Hargrove. Right side Clay. Clay to Mojica again. She's trying to look for a cutting Fabula. It's not there. Ball's loose, and it's going to get tied up. And that'll end up being another jump ball, this time going to Artesia. And they look frustrated at this point. You can tell that it's kind of set in, and a lot of the players are tired of the press for sure.
Elisa Lieb, after get jump ball called for Artesia, kind of threw a little elbow at the Hobbs Lady Eagle just in frustration.
Yep. Here's Adriana Aguilar coming into the game. Fabulous going to sit. .32 seconds on the clock. Great House working against the 2-2-1 press. Right side in the corner. Here's Cox for a long two off the iron. Controlled by the Lady Eagles. Mojica, near side Hargrove. Backdoors it on the layup. Number 22 there took the shot. That is Elizabeth Buendia. And Aguilar ends up getting the rebound on the backside. She'll get fouled as she goes to the rim.
Again, Ariana Aguilar, just a freshman. She's got some size, too, at 5'10", so just a little bit beneath her other counterparts, Elise Turbiatis and Anaya Joseph. So it seems like Coach has got plenty of post players he can go to, and especially coming off the bench when he needs to give somebody a break.
Yeah. And the more playing time we get them now, the better they're going to be able to help us down when it really starts to matter, and their minutes really are important. First offering is no good. And I bet you Coach is going to address the free throws tomorrow. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was Aguilar trying to get her first point of the game.
Her second offering is good. 70-37 as the clock's winding down. Just under 10 seconds here. Cox looking for one more opportunity. Back to Greathouse under pressure. Greathouse to the left hand to Lieb. Lieb's going to split the double team. Fire it up off the glass, and it's good to finish the game. That one will count. Your final score. The Hobbs Lady Eagles 70, the Artesia Lady Bulldogs 39. We'll be back after these messages. You're listening to Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on the Eagle 100.5.
Clear.
3, please.
One minute. $30. Coming back in 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Tasker Arena. Hobbs Lady Eagles coming away with a victory tonight, and man, we got scoring all around, don't we, Ty?
Yeah, first let's get Artesia. Their big scorer, Cora Cox, 22 points in the ball game. As she had 11 in the fourth quarter alone, so definitely was taking a lot more shots in the paint. She was 2 of 6 from the charity stripe in a losing cause. Other scores in the game, double digits for Alyssa Libb. She finished up with 10 points and finished 4 for 6 from the line. Nobody else in double digits. Kaylee Wagner ended up with 5. She was 0 for 2 from the line, and she had the only three-pointer in the ball game for Artesia. Audrey Bayo added 1 for 2 free throw shooting, and Riley Greer 1 for 2 as well. So they ended up having 4 players scoring, make it 5 for the Bulldogs. They were 8 of 18 from the charity stripe, so 44%, not the numbers I'm sure Coach Hotling was looking for. And the big problem for them was turnovers. They had 23, but a majority of those coming in the first half. They kind of cleaned up their play a little bit, got some more shooting opportunities in the paint in that second half.
Yeah, you know, I think they were a lot more aggressive. They finally started to kind of settle in. Plus, with us playing the subs more and more and more, they tried to take advantage of that youth when they were in there.
Hobbs Lady Eagles, lots of girls stepping up with double-digit scoring. Wisdom Anthony leading with 25 points. She finished up 3 for 5 from the free throw line and had a couple of trays. In fact, Hobbs as a team had 5 3-pointers in this ball game. Jemiah Clay finishing 1 of 2 from the line. She had 3 points for the Lady Eagles. Nakia Mojica finished with 6 points, including a tray and 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Brent Hargrove, the 8th grader, finished with 8 points on a couple of trays. Elise Turbiatis, double digits with 10 points. No points in the second half, though. Alexia Fabella had 2 points, and she was 2 of 6 from the line. Anaya Joseph was the second leading scorer with 14 points, went 2 for 3 from the charity stripe. And Ariana Aguilar finished 1 of 2 from the line with 1 point. Also, Erilyn Hall scored a bucket for 2 as well. The Hobbs Lady Eagles had 9 players in the scorebook. They were 10 of 20 from the charity stripe for 50%. And a total of 18 turnovers, again, compared to 23 for the Artesia Bulldogs. So turnovers definitely the difference in this ball game. In that fourth quarter as well, Artesia managed 14 points. And the Hobbs Lady Eagles only got 11, so Artesia actually outscored Hobbs due to a lot of that shooting inside by 3 in that fourth quarter. But other than that, ladies had dominance. Hobbs did throughout the game, up 19-plus in the first quarter, 22-3. But at halftime, they were up 41 to 14 at halftime. So they definitely had the advantage through 3 of the 4 quarters.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all checking into the game tonight. It was a wonderful, wonderful win for the Lady Eagles. That puts them at 2-0 on the season, and the Artesia Lady Dogs will fall to 0-1. And looks like we have Goddard on the schedule here, and that's going to be on the
next Tuesday.
And that's going to be a game in Roswell. And that'll be a nice little road game test for the Hobbs Lady Eagles.
Yeah, they had the big road trip up north when they took on Los Lunas up there in Ruidoso, and now it's going to be another one, about the same, a little bit less distance, but still a road trip. And again, they've been rolling so far. I mean, you beat a team they did this past weekend, 30 turnovers in that game, and this one you get 23 on your home court. Things are looking pretty good for Coach Carpenter and this championship club.
Absolutely. We hope that you stick with us. We got the Hobbs Eagles getting ready to play Artesia, and Ty Friend will have the call on that one, and I will do color for that game. And we hope that you go ahead and switch channels over to
Cold 95.7.
Cold 95.7. Boy, my mind blank. Your final score, Hobbs Lady Eagles 70, the Artesia Lady Dogs 39. Thank you for listening on Eagle 100.5. I'm going to have to change that. Did we go back to Ron or